Hi, I'm John. I'm the creator of ALOFT, a website that is used by teachers to create homework sets and grade homework sets for high school math classes and for 100 level college classes. And I want to show you today what it looks like as a teacher to be using ALOFT in your classroom. So right now I'm on the tasks page for Stratocumulus, which is your dashboard as a teacher. And let's say we need to create a new problem set. All right, so we give the problem set a name. I'll just call it sample. And let's just say it's a pre-calculus assignment, and we're getting an assignment about polynomials, and it's the complex numbers day. All right, here are the different kinds of problems that I have already created for you in ALOFT. And there's a lot of settings you can have here, but honestly, none of them are necessary. If you just want to go ahead and assign each of these groups, that's fine. Let's say these are the 4 types of problems I want the students to be able to do. Notice you can choose to see an example of the kind of problems the students will get. Again, I'll make later videos that show you what all these settings can do if you want to, but none of it's necessary. So as simple as just marking the kind of problems you want the students to see and hitting submit. All right. Now let's go ahead and make that as an assignment so that the students can actually do it. That was the problem set we've created. In theory, you can save that from year to year. I generally don't, but you certainly could. All right, now we're going to assign it. We're going to hook it up to a group of students. Because I tend to have a lot of assignments in here because I teach way too many classes, it makes sense to sort them by creation date. So now here's my one I just created called sample. And I'm going to hook that up to my pre-calculus group for the current semester. And that's all I need to do is then give it a name. I usually just call it the same thing I called the problem group and hit create. All right, now the whole assignment has been created. We just need to share it with the students. And the easiest way to do that is just get the URL of the assignment. And so, again, because I tend to have way too many of them in here, it's best for me to usually sort them by creation date. Here it is. Sample is the one we just created. We're going to copy its URL. All right, once we've copied its URL, I can send that out in an email to the students. I can put it up on Google Classroom or Canvas, whatever I'm using at that time. Okay, so now your students have had the link for a couple of days, and it's time for you to grade that assignment. Automatic grading is a big part of what ALOFT can do for you. So you go over here to grade the assignment, and you choose the assignment that you want. Now, I know that this particular one here, Pre-Calculus 2.6, I happen to know that there's a number of interesting features that one shows. And I'll just leave the time and date at which I wanted that assignment to be due. I'll just leave that alone for now. Oh, by the way, ALOFT is as flexible or as rigorous about deadlines as you want it to be, and I'll show you about that in a later video. All right, so in this case, it's saying grade the problems where the students are asked to show work. To be honest, I don't do that very often. I think that's a little bit overrated as a teaching technique. But if you want the students to turn in their work, there would be instructions here and a rubric as to how exactly to assign points on the work that the students turned in. But in this case, we're going to move forward and actually move on to the automatic grading. So right now it's processing all the submissions that came in, keeping only the highest grade from each student on each problem set that they did. And for each of the students, these are their initials right here, but it would be names when you're running it. There is a grade being rigorous about the deadline, and there is a grade if you were ignoring the deadline and just letting students turn it in late. Perhaps this is a student who was out for sickness or something like that. So you have now all their grades ready to be put into a grade book. Also, you can actually see what they did. Each of these, where it says click for more info, it would reveal what their work was. So it shows at what time they submitted which group and what they got each time. There's also these little icons on here that kind of give you a visual cue as to what the algorithm noticed. For example, this one says that the student was moving too fast. The problems were coming in pretty quick. Were they really doing the work? Or this one here, low effort. That probably means they did one time of going through the problems and just took the grade they got, whether it was good or not. My personal favorite is the guessing logo here that shows when the students have been repeatedly turning the assignment in very fast. It doesn't look like they were doing anything other than guessing. Now, a great feature of this here is if you click for more info, you get the whole list of when they did it, and then it says see suggested email verbiage. I love this feature. If you click here, the algorithm puts together an email message for you that collects all the evidence. Look at this. The student turned it in 20 times. There's no way they were really doing this assignment set 20 times. And then some suggested verbiage as to why the algorithm flagged it. You can just cut and paste this verbiage into an email message, edit it. It's a little bit awkward how it's written. But you have now all your evidence and everything you need to have a productive dialogue with a student about the best way to use ALOFT to get the best advantage on the upcoming test. All right, there are tons of features that I have glossed over here. The ALOFT has an amazing set of features to identify the problems students are having and give them feedback and to help them review for the test. All these things are very, very helpful as a teacher. If you're interested in using ALOFT for free in your classroom, go ahead and contact me using the email address on the screen.